You want to make stuff like this? But you can't be bothered to legally purchase PitchMap? This is Chroma, the cool new VST all the kids are talking about. Here, take a puff. First time's free, kid. Well, not actually. And that's the problem. So let's just dive in. What is Chroma? What does it do right? What are its problems and quirks? And most importantly, is it worth your hard-earned cash? Basically, Chroma just takes the frequency info for any audio, looks at it, and finds frequencies that don't belong in the scale you've selected. Then it corrects those frequencies to fit the scale. It's similar to Autotune in that way, but instead of taking the fundamental harmonic of the audio and shifting it to match the nearest note, it takes the upper harmonics in the audio and matches them to the nearest harmonic that's in key. So, you could take something as simple as white noise and make it sound much more harmonic, like this. This sounds much different, more robotic, hyper-melodic, and works better on chords and synths, as Autotune is usually optimized for monophonic human voices. Chroma is hyper simple, so I won't spend long explaining how to use it. You just open it up, pick a scale or select some notes, run some audio through it, adjust how powerful the effect should be, adjust the affected bandwidth, and that's it. Then you'll end up with a fairly samey, melodic sound, kinda like this. If you're familiar with color bass, you'll probably think, oh, so it's like PitchMap. Well, yeah, kind of, but it has more limited feature set, meaning you get less control and thus a less diverse range of possible outputs. In simple terms, it's kinda basic. Now, it's not all bad. I really like Chroma in some ways. Firstly, PitchMap is 3.5 times the price. It can be intimidating to use, and there's a lot more room for error when you add complexity. Chroma is very simple, pretty easy to learn, looks great, and gives you a quick color-based type resonant sound. But I spent $40 on this thing. Why am I not even allowed to use it on frequencies above 4 kHz or below 160 Hz? Why? I understand that by default it sounds pretty good, but why do you literally not allow me to disable the bandpass or go outside the set limits in any way? I can mute the unaffected bands, I can disable the entire plugin, but no frequencies above 4K can be affected? I assume this was a latency, CPU usage, and/or frequency resolution thing, but I really hope to see the ability to go outside the predetermined limits soon. I have a hefty CPU and don't mind any poor resolution, so I just don't like random limitations. It would be cool if they had a separate mode to allow that in the future, but for me, that would be a huge thing Synth could do to improve the plugin. So, do I recommend it? Well, it's kind of a one-trick pony. Now, don't get me wrong, the trick it pulls off is really cool. It sounds pretty good, the interface is remarkably clean-looking and easy to use, it's cheaper than PitchMap, but does less, and $40 is still not insignificant for some people. But the problem with Chroma for me is you can't just go try it and find out if it's worth it. You can either take the $40 plunge legitimately, or venture to some sketchy websites, and that sucks. Because as far as I can tell, this is a small independent dev team, and I like supporting that. But it's a tough recommendation to make, because you're the only one who will know if it's worth it for you, and you can't find out if it's worth it until you cough up some money. So as of now, I wouldn't say it's a must-buy plugin. But for me, I really like it, and I'll be keeping it. But that's because I make tons of music, I like color bass, and I like screwing around with new VSTs. But for someone who might only be mildly interested, or already has PitchMap and likes it more, $40 might not be worth it for you. I really hope to see them update this plugin, remove the arbitrary limitations, maybe add a few features like the ability to choose what unselected notes get mapped to, and something similar to PitchMap's electrify and feel parameters, and make a free trial available. I mean, really, if you only did one thing. Okay.